Today, we're going to talk about what every parent is dreading. Is online schooling going to continue? And if yes, how long pa? And the most important question is, how are we going to survive it and also our kids? Welcome to Chic Chats. I am your host, Jeanette Ipaputwason, and we're here to give you your best life in bullet points. Joining us for today's episode are two child learning experts from BrainRx Philippines. BrainRx specializes in brain training through one-on-one cognitive play. It is one of the leading learning programs in the world. Let us welcome the company's co-founder, Mel Sua and Joy Go. Mel, Joy, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Jeanette. Excited to be here.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Joy. Thank you for
Thank
joining.
you. Thank you for
Yes.
inviting us, Jeanette. This topic is very, very relevant at this time. You know, even after 1 year of virtual learning, we still have a lot of parents who are they still haven't gotten the hang of it, and it's very understandable why.
I think it's not getting getting the hang of it. It's like trying to find when the finish line is, 'di ba? So some
Exactly.
parents are really gusto na nilang patayin yung teachers and yung online training na yan, online schooling na yan. So tell me something about BrainRx. Give us a little background of your company.
Okay, so BrainRx Philippines. So we're a licensee and also the master developer for the Philippines for the BrainRx program. So BrainRx is a program from LearningRx USA. It's a world leader when it comes to the one-on-one brain training format. So what we do, we work on strengthening the underlying skills that everyone uses when it comes to learning something, so that absorbing, processing, the retaining information, and reading, understanding things become a lot easier. So in a way, it's very foundational, the things that we work on. We don't deal with the content itself of like teaching the reading, teaching the math, but what we work on are the underlying skills to make the process of learning easier.
Okay. So Mel, tell us like what's the claim to fame for BrainRx?
Our program is very much research based. It's backed by 35 plus years of cognitive research. We've handled all sorts of cases around the world. We have about 30 centers worldwide, and we've touched more than 100,000 lives. And the nice thing about it is that we're able to train kids from 8 years all the way to adults and seniors.
Oh, okay. So what's the philosophy behind BrainRx? Because you're saying that it's brain training, no, it's like working out. So what do you do? And how is it different from the normal uh, speech therapy, OT, Joy?
Okay, so what we focus on are the cognitive skills. So cognitive skills are like we work on the 7 core cognitive skills: attention, working memory, processing speed, long-term memory, visual processing, auditory processing, and logic and reasoning. So these 7 core skills are, what we always use. Even now, as you're listening to me, Janet, you're trying to process what I'm saying. You're trying to
Yes.
understand. You're trying to think ahead. You're using all these skills.
Okay.
So every child in school and even every adult outside of school, like we're in the workplace or at home, we're still using all these skills when we function in our daily lives. So learning, sometimes the issue with learning, not being able to learn properly, or learning maybe to read or to do math, or to even just to understand a concept that maybe another kid in the class can easily get. Sometimes the cause of that, yes, would be weak cognitive skills. And that's what we work on.
Okay. So like me, I have a different learner, no? I have a child that is not neurotypical, and he what he has some sort of social communications. He can't make conversations, or he always repeats his the questions and stuff. What is something that what can you do for somebody like that?
We would suggest to come in for an assessment first, because it's really hard to generalize. And sometimes we do have, like, for example, one kid, who maybe demonstrates that kind of problem, but there could be another kid with the same problem, but the weaknesses in cognitive skills look different. So
Okay.
yeah, it's easier to come in for an assessment so that we can easily
Okay.
look at it. Yeah.
But is
That-
the learning program just for people with different learning patterns, or is it also for the typical kid?
it's actually for everyone. It's
Okay.
most of our students are they just attend the usual schools that we know, and they're usually 9 years old, between 9 to 12. A lot of them
Okay.
are in that age group, but we do get younger kids and we do get adults as well.
Okay.
People come in for different reasons.
Okay.
Sometimes they just want to improve themselves, but sometimes
Okay.
there's a particular learning challenge. Yeah.
So like my husband doesn't have super short memory. Will BrainRx work for him? He has 5 bytes of memory. He forgets everything.
Okay,
Will that work for him?
my question for that is, since when?
Since forever.
Okay, I haven't met your husband, but yet if he's watching, we would like to invite you to come to our center and come for an assessment. We've actually worked with adults,
Okay.
40s and 50-year-olds who
Mhm.
really want to improve themselves. Yeah.
Okay. So it's really more of improving, your capability. Parang siyang limitless. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to our topic today. So
Okay.
now we're talking about these kids, right? And this online learning. A lot of parents are really trying hard, and it's such a pain that they became the teachers, and they always complain that they have to go back to school. Uh, from your experience, what were the common struggles for parents and kids?
Actually, we did a webinar on this because a lot of the parents that come to our center have a similar struggle or similar pain point. And common things that we hear is, homeschooling or online learning is challenging, stressful, and all that. And common struggles are, I have to sit with my child throughout the entire school day just so that they stay put or they're not so much distracted. Some of them say, I have to repeat the questions or repeat the instructions several times. Or they're so disorganized, I cannot believe that I have to, sit through the whole thing so that they can just get through the homework and the lessons.
Yeah.
Some of them are forgetful, needs constant guidance, or some of them get really easily frustrated, have very short attention spans. So these are some of the common themes that we're seeing, and Joy might want to add some others that she has saw.
Yes. So during pandemic, it's interesting because parents now are forced, even tayo, if you have younger kids, we're really forced to pay attention and to really, handle and manage our kids. There's no choice. There's no choice.
Oh, nga.
Yeah.
Better we just park them in school.
Yes. So the
Outsource.
So what happens is what's been happening is parents are now seeing. So we've had a couple of there's a couple of them coming in, and most of what they say is something like, I've known that he's not as strong, but oh my gosh, Joy, I didn't realize he was that weak until I see him together with the other classmates in the class, and now parang it strikes me as I have to do something about this. So,
Okay.
so it's parang the pandemic. I know it's really hard, but in a way, it becomes a wake up call for, I think, for some parents. Yeah,
Parang you learn more about, you get to know your kid. You get
exactly.
to know your kid, their strengths and weaknesses. But I understand that, I've also had the experience of my kids not sitting down. Kulang na lang tatali ko na lang sila sa Celia, or, I'll put blinders on them. But, um, but, later on, I've seen my kids that, they have actually improved in a way. But for parents, how do they deal with if they're really having difficulties and their kids are really having issues? How can they deal with that? And what's the common you said that they cannot sit down, the focus. What else can the parents do for if the kids are like that?
Okay, so the one of the things that we really encourage, especially at the start of pandemic, when we started receiving parents saying, my child's like this, like that, or even before pandemic, is really to be a very good observer. That's the
Okay.
first thing. As a parent, the next step, or what you should be able to think of and do, if you want to do something about uh,
Uh-huh.
improving your kids, is really to be able to observe what's happening. So it means the parent has to be really objectively looking at the child. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's really hard, even me myself, I'm a parent, it's hard to put ourselves in a very objective observer type of position and really look at our child. Okay, what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
What should we be working on? Yeah,
Okay.
the first thing actually for me is being able to observe. Yeah, Mel.
Oh,
And for me, it's also playing like an investigator type. It's trying to troubleshoot, isolate, and analyze the problem. So, if, for example, the issue you're seeing is that they can't sit still or they can't sit through an entire duration, there are several factors we also look at. Did they get the basics first? Like, do they have the right environment? Do they
yeah.
have gotten enough sleep? They're not hungry. They're not fidgety. They're not too tired. The physical aspects, the environment
Mm-hmm.
around home learning. The other thing is motivation. Baka naman they're so distracted because they want to do something else. They're more motivated to do
Yeah.
something else. That's another
Yes.
factor that we look at. What's their motivation? Do they
Mm-hmm.
see a purpose in what they're doing? Why they're doing such tasks
Yeah.
for school? Then lastly, that's what we look at also, is do they have the content? I mean, is it too overwhelming for them?
Mm-hmm.
Is it too much, too complex? Then we look
Okay.
at skills also. Do we have the competence to actually
Okay.
complete the task? Do we have the tool sets to complete the task?
Okay.
So there's parang investigator type. Parang you have to isolate and analyze and do a process of elimination in a mental checklist. Yeah, that's what
So
I think.
sometimes kasi, I guess some parents, you mentioned about observing, but
Yeah.
sometimes parents, they have this, well, in my case, sometimes I have this tendency to do mirroring na parang I feel bad that I'm not doing the right job, and that, sometimes, and my reaction becomes, I get more upset
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
kids because I felt like I'm not doing a good job as a parent. How do you deal with something like that, or how do you make sure na you have a better mindset on checking up on your kids, or observing your kids properly?
Okay, I actually have a personal, I'm talking about personal experience, so personal philosophy for that. Um, I realized that, as parents, we're here to guide.
Okay.
We're here to
Okay.
guide. We don't live our lives through our kids. We
Mm-hmm.
let our kids live their lives, but we're just there to shape and mold and guide.
Okay.
So ultimately, we're not the ones in the driver's seat of our children's lives. It's they're the ones in the driver's seat. So we're like the ones who will, make sure the makina, the engine's working well. We kind of like help push the car if the car is stalled, and we kind of
Mm-hmm.
like polish everything, make everything look nice.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, we can't drive it for them because it's their life. So if
Okay.
we start seeing ourselves as molders and shapers, and not really think that, oh my gosh, parang this is a reflection on me as a parent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thinking of that, we just have to do what we think is best as parents, as
Okay.
moms, especially as moms who are
Yeah.
working and doing mommy jobs, and now doing everything in the house, and
In
there's
school.
really, really self-care, I think, is we have to be gentle with ourselves as well as moms. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. But so you mentioned, Mel, about troubleshooting and finding out what are other aspects or factors that are affecting our children's behavior. So we already spotted the problem. So what should parents do? So they spot a problem, and then it's not the chair, it's not the desk, it's not something external, and it's really something that it's about the kid. What is the next step for a parent to do?
Well, a couple of things also is to try, no? Like you said, it's not the desk, it's not the structure. It's also look at the content that they're looking at also, and get some ideas also, consult the teachers or the tutors or whoever are the caregivers. because they might have a different perspective. When are you seeing these patterns? Baka naman there's a consistent pattern. Is it because, you know, maybe math is really difficult, for example, so anything related with numbers or whatever. So
Yeah.
trying to hone in on when the triggers are or what the triggers are would be a starting point, identifying
Okay.
them, and then
Mhm.
trying to see, because sometimes the material is just too complex, eh? And then maybe
Yeah.
it's just a matter of breaking it down or a matter
Okay.
of making it simpler for the child. If
Mhm.
all of that has already been looked at, the other thing also is what we do is yung cognitive skills nga. Kasi sometimes we don't necessarily have the skill set to tackle a certain problem. If attention is an
Okay.
issue, or if memory or processing is a little bit difficult, then that's
Okay.
another area that we look at. Kasi cognitive skills nga, that's what we work on. So
Yes,
Oh,
sometimes.
okay.
If
Go ahead, Joy.
yeah. So sometimes, you know, like I'll give a common problem of some of the parents, you know, when they come to us. So math or reading, those are the two most common problems. So for example, when a child is having trouble with reading, it's you have to make sure that you find the right intervention. So there are
Okay.
several wonderful reading programs, wonderful reading teachers, but as a parent, you have to make sure that you want to know what the problem is. So reading
Mhm.
programs range for anywhere from like foundational, like there's an auditory processing issue, all the way to, you know, just enrichment. You know, the
Mhm.
child can read, but just maybe lacks maybe the knowledge in terms of how to form the sentences better, you know, the flow and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah. So I think as a parent, we have to also learn how to ask the right questions properly from the teachers of
Okay.
our
Yeah.
students. Yeah. Yeah.
I think you said a very good point. It's to decide on the correct program. And how can we decide on the correct program? Kasi syempre, you said there's a lot na nga. It's not like before na,
Yeah.
it was just common, it was just a tutor, and then that's it. Now there's like so many resources available. And how do you choose the right program? Because at the end of the day, it's a time issue, right? Kasi you're gonna spend there for a whole year. Eh, paano kung mali pala?
So you have to, I think a suggestion would be really do your research as a
Okay.
parent. There's no other way unless you really spend time on looking into what's out there. So
Okay.
I think as a parent, okay, number one, you observe, and number two, you just try to ask around. I guess don't be hiya, to ask people that you say that, my child's a problem, good friends,
Mm-hmm.
really talk about it. Because sometimes, your friend might actually be able to refer a program that you didn't even
Mm-hmm.
know. So, sometimes
Okay.
parents are medyo nahiya. It's not, I don't want to talk about this problem with, other people. So I
Yeah.
think thinking about it with among friends you trust, and
Mm-hmm.
also asking a lot of, there are a lot of professionals. You can go to the developmental pediatricians, you can go to the psychologists, and you can, internet is a wonderful source right now. You can find so many things.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So going back, we've already spotted the problem, and now we're trying to find out the correct intervention program. Now naman, what if the motivation of the kids is the issue? 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Tamad talaga si kuya. Anong gagawin natin kay kuya kung if he's really unmotivated? What would be the best way to move forward with something like that?
Okay, I love the comment that you said. And every time there's a parent in front of me saying, tamad ang anak ko, lazy, I ask, how old's your child? Okay, Jeanette, let me just ask you. So how old's the child? The
I
one
have
that,
five, so they're all
kasi the tamad is a behavior that
Okay.
as parents we see. But there's something must be causing that behavior, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every behavior that what we see, something, there's a cause for that. Eh. So
Okay.
if you tell me my child's only 8 and 9 years old, and
What if
he's
it's 20?
20 is different. Okay, the older, yeah, but the older kids, they have they sometimes they can do it, but they choose not to do it. So that's different. But
Okay.
if we're talking about the younger kids, the 8, the 9, I'm not sure if really being lazy, or maybe they just avoid. So there's a
Avoid.
avoidance versus laziness. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
for somebody who's not comfortable with doing what you do, Jeanette, like here, doing this podcast and everything, you would probably wouldn't call them lazy, but you probably say they avoid it because it makes them
Okay.
uncomfortable, or maybe they don't have the skills for it. So
Mm.
same with learning. So an 8 or 9 year old who may be tagged as lazy, described as lazy, maybe he's just avoiding it, and now you
Okay.
find why. You ask why.
Okay. So let's say, for example, Mel, no, I have friends who they say their kids super hate online learning, but it's a reality now. It's not like I can ask my kid, tigil ka muna pumasok kasi ayaw mo ng online learning. So what can parents do if they have like a stumbling block like that?
Well, also take a look siguro at I guess going back pa rin kasi sa why no? Why
Mm-hmm.
don't they like it?
Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
because it's not interesting enough, or they're
Okay.
not getting it, or they don't have a say in it, or they don't
Yes.
see a purpose to it? Parang what's this
Okay.
for? Because sometimes you go through school just memorizing and by rote lang. Parang we don't see the purpose of it eh. So maybe they don't
Mm-hmm.
see the relevance, or there's no connection. Parang, why am I studying algebra? What for? So siguro
Yes.
as parents, we can help find that purpose or that relatedness
Yes.
para they see a point to it. Kasi
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I mean, we all go through school so that we can be potentially successful in life and career and all that sort of thing. But
Yes.
syempre, we have to go through the process. We have to pass the tests, and we have to go through
Yeah.
the, graduation and everything. So maybe that kind of thinking or breaking down for the child or for the kid is
Mm-hmm.
necessary para makita nila yung relevance ng why they're doing what they're doing.
Okay. So let's say, for example, you mentioned a while ago, no, it's asking the right questions. Sometimes parents will just say, "Kamusta ka na?
Yeah.
Anong nangyari?" And the kid will go, wala lang, di ba? And
Yeah.
and parents, would like, okay, I think they're okay, right? So they just go like that. So how can parents formulate the right question so that they can find out what motivates, or why their kids are just like that? Where is there like a cheat sheet that they can find in the internet, or is there like a formula for the questions?
They should,
Mel? Joy, go ahead.
they should actually ask questions like how Jeanette asks it. No, just kidding. No, it's okay. Let's okay. Maybe you, Jeanette, as a parent, like what would you normally want to find out about, like in your child's day or life?
It's funny because it's my husband that's like that. He's the
Ah,
one that asks the questions. Oh, how was your day? Okay, so tell me about this. Tell me about that. I'm like the troubleshooter here. If there's an issue, you talk to me. But if it's like a day-to-day thing, it's my husband that does it. It's weird.
Tag team,
yes,
tag team.
Tag team.
that
But
actually works.
usually, the way I talk to them is like, coaching, why, or how does this make you feel, or why are you upset? Why? Who, what, where, when? Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So is there like a what do you suggest for parents who are not having, not being able to go through or break through their kids when they say, that's it, voila, that's it, nothing happening.
So I would suggest to ask a specific question. A
Oh,
question that's not answerable by yes or no. Because okay, how was your day? Or answerable by one word. How was your day? Fine. Especially teenagers.
yes.
Oh, okay. So maybe ask questions that matter in the child's life. For example, that if maybe your son is having trouble with maybe let's say a sport. He's trying to learn his basketball. Maybe the dribbling's not so well. Then you could ask questions, and if you know that they have PE class and they're doing basketball and all,
Mm-hmm.
so ask a question. So how was basketball class today? Did you learn? Did you work on the dribbling? Did you do any dribbling? Yeah. Instead of just a very general question like, "Oh, how was it today?" So I think drilling down to something that's specific, maybe mention a particular topic that you know they're taking in class, and or mention
Okay.
a particular friend, like if
Mm-hmm.
you want to find out maybe the BFF of your daughter,
Mm-hmm.
how they are, mention that name, or mention a particular situation. So for example, if you know they're working on a project, a group project, so ask specifically questions about that project. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
For
Okay.
just to add to that,
Yeah.
I mean, for me naman is finding the casual moment. Yun hindi yung parang alam mong you just got home and then you just want to ask that question and that's it. So if family time or dinner time is like a casual conversation type of environment, then I think that would
Okay.
be a good way to strike up a conversation and ask those specific questions,
Oh,
specifically about
yeah.
this sport or specific about that. Like for me, my daughter naman, when we go out for a walk, like we go downstairs because we live in a condo, and then we just go for a walk, and that's when I realized she starts chatting and opening up. So that's
Ah,
when I probe further. Now, oh, how was your
okay.
friend? Oh, did your friend do this? Oh, you like to play Roblox? And the other thing about kids nowadays are very much into video games.
Yes.
For me lang, we as parents, I think we have to know or find out or try to play it with them. Para lang
Yes.
meron tayong connection. And once we have
Yes.
that connection, it's easier to strike up a conversation. So, I know some parents are against, too much video games or too much screen time or whatever, but maybe everything in moderation. I think that might be
Yes.
a connection point kasi, especially now they
Yeah.
spend so much time online.
Yeah.
But
I
catching
think,
those
yeah.
conversations during those times is also critical for me.
Yeah, it's really about being able to relate. If
Yes.
yeah, if we're so detached from their lives, it's really hard to find that, even finding that common ground and things to talk about.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's true. So now we've already find out what's troubling our kids, 'di ba? We now are able to relate to them. Ito namang parents, 'di ba? Baka maging like ako, araw-araw I need to drink my wine kasi sobrang sa dami ng kailangan gawin this online, 'di ba? So how will parents survive it naman, 'di ba? How can we motivate the parents naman?
Ako, number one, self-care. We have to
yeah,
have me time.
Self-care.
We have to either exercise every day, get that happy hormones in at least 1 hour every day, whatever it is, quality time for ourselves so that we keep our sanity. Because if we're always, as moms, we put so much pressure on ourselves for some reason. We want to be super moms, right? We are working, we're educators, and we're also a wife, we're also a domestic, help, whatever. Lahat na lang tayo eh. But then if we
Yes.
don't take care of ourselves, how can you expect to be able to take care of your kids and your husband and everybody else? So I think that's number one. And number two is we have to be a little bit more forgiving about ourselves. So we can't really be stressing too much about it.
Okay.
And I think we have to focus on nurturing the relationship right now, especially now in this pandemic. I mean, the focus shouldn't be on how much they learning, how much content are they going to squeeze into these brains. It's more of,
Yes.
can we have a harmonious relationship at home? Can we have, better bonding moments? And yeah, the academics and all that will come also, but maybe manage our expectations a little bit or adjust it a little bit, especially in this difficult time.
That's right. How about you, Joy? So let's say, for example, hindi marunong mag-self-care si Mami. Nako, how can she start?
okay, alamin natin kung ano ang hilig ni Mami. So,
No,
mawine
no.
si Mami. Pwedeng happy hormones, pwedeng happy hour. No, just kidding.
Happy hour, di ba? Ako, happy hour ako eh. It's
No,
happy
just
hour.
No, it's really about finding yourself. I think the pandemic, okay, one good thing is we actually have a lot of time during pandemic. If you think about it, we have a lot of time within the family unit and also time to spend with ourselves. We're not
Okay.
traveling, we're not stuck in traffic. We're not a lot of the online deliveries that are happening now. So, we don't have to go to the grocery. There's a lot of time. So I
Yes.
think it's really about finding ourselves. Finding,
Okay.
for those who don't know, you just have to explore. Kung di ka nakapag-zumba, mag-try tayo. Hindi ka pa nakapag-yoga, mag-try rin tayo ng yoga.
Hindi ka
Hindi
nagka-K-drama. Try tayo para maubos talaga yung
drama.
time mo.
Yeah. We have to be, we have to find that inner goddess, for lack of a better word. You just have to find it. It's really about finding what works for you, finding what you like, and there's no wrong in doing pampering yourself.
Okay.
It's not like 24/7 you're doing that, right?
Okay.
Finding what
yeah.
makes you happy.
Okay. So I'm gonna wrap this up with, if you're gonna give parents three tips that they should really hold dear, and just to be able to survive this another year of online learning. Mel, let's start with you. What will it be?
Number one is self-care. Remember not to put too much pressure on ourselves. Number two is to keep an open, positive mindset. I know it's very hard when we have all the stresses around us, but keep an open, positive mindset. And try not to put too much judgment on yourself, on your family, on your kids. I think those are the three things for me.
Oh, okay. How about you, Joy?
I will give two. I will
Okay.
start with number one, savor what you have in front of you. So savor the relationships that you have right now with the people who matter in your lives. Savor that and be grateful. I know it's a very I think frequently used word or phrase, no? But it's really about being grateful, to what you have now at this point. And my second maybe tip would be take out the fear. So fear is for me it's a very debilitating, can be very debilitating. So fear of not doing it right, or fear about not doing it the way it's supposed to be or supposed to do, and also about fear of maybe not looking good, or fear about
Okay.
there's a lot of fears sometimes, especially now during pandemic. So maybe just like toned down that fear a bit. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so ladies, thank you so much. We learned so many things today, and I hope the parents and the kids will be able to survive another year, or hopefully in just another year of online learning. Can you please tell us where they can find you and what programs are you offering something new for BrainRx, Mel?
Yes, you can look us up on FB, IG, or on the website, BrainRxPH, BrainRxPH.com. We're located in BGC, and we have an upcoming event called Grit, where we will share stories of empowerment. We'll share testimonials from various students we've had in the past 10 years about how BrainRx training has transformed their lives. So it'll be exciting. It'll be on March 13. Watch us, follow us on Facebook.
Yay. How about you, Joy? Where can they find you? Or if there's any new program coming up?
Okay, so right now we do have the BrainRx program. It's a cognitive training program. We do have the ReadRx program, which is a reading program and a brain training program in one. It's very unique. And we do have another program that's in the works that's also from the same company, and that will be announced very soon.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies. I hope that you guys will not I hope that all the parents there can call you and join your event, so that they can keep fighting on this online distance learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank
inviting
you.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Jeanette.
much.
Okay, so what did I learn today, right? So at the end of the day, we want to tell you our best life in bullet points. So for me, what I've learned is, one, you have to observe your kids with a very objective diba? A mindset. Hindi yung, naiinis kayo, or you think they're already tamad. Please remove those preconceptions so that you're able to observe them very well. The next thing I learned is, of course, you need to troubleshoot issues. It's not just because your kid is like this. It's because maybe it's because the chair, the desk, or the light's not good. Try to find out what factors that affect your child's performance. And then I also like what they told me, that at the end of the day, we're just guides for our kids, right? We are not really the ones that are on the driver's seats in terms of their lives. Another thing, of course, get other people's perspective. It can be the yayas, the teachers. You need to just have another point of view of maybe what factors are affecting your child's motivation or performance. The other thing is, of course, is to learn how to ask the right questions at the proper time. Sometimes, just asking them, "Kamusta ka na? How are you? What's that?" And they just say, "Fine," and you ended up to there. You're not going to learn anything if you don't ask the right questions. And of course, for us parents, the most important thing is, of course, we cannot give what we don't have. So if we don't love ourselves and we don't take care of ourselves, it's also going to be very hard to take care of our kids and our family. We have something special for you for those who are watching. Please share the episode and you will get a chance to win a special gift from our sponsor, Globe at Home. We want to thank our friends from Globe at Home for supporting the episode today. With that said, we want to thank you for joining Chic Chats. So please join us next week for another learning episodes. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and on Chicdriven. You can also catch some of my written works on the motoring section of the Philippine Daily Inquirer, onemega.com, and Lifestyle Asia. Of course, don't forget to subscribe on our Chicdriven TV on YouTube. Click that bell so that you will know if we have new content that we have just posted. With that said, this has been Jeanette Ipaputwasan, and you're with Chic Chats, your best life in bullet points.
Wi-Fi troubles? Here are some reasons that may slow down your Wi-Fi connection. You might be too far from the router, or there may be too many devices connecting at the same time. Another reason you might not realize is that walls and doors can actually block your Wi-Fi signal. But don't worry, we've got something that can help. Introducing Globe at Home's latest partner in connectivity, the TP-Link DECO M5. It boosts your Wi-Fi signal for the entire home by forming a mesh network. That leads to wider coverage and steadier connection, no matter where you are inside. So now, you can have reliable internet all over to freely explore the world right at home. You can turn the bedroom into your boardroom, the living room into a personal movie theater, and even the kitchen into a classroom. You'll also have the ability to monitor your family's browsing activities through parental controls and ensure their online safety. So, ready to upgrade your home's connection? Great! Now, you might be asking how you can get your own mesh network set up. Easy! Check the Globe at Home mobile app to see the available device add-ons for your plan. Next, select the TP-Link Wi-Fi mesh. Remember, at least 2 units are needed to power your mesh network. After you check out and confirm your order, sit back, relax, and wait for your devices to be delivered. From there, all you have to do is download the TP-Link DECO app on the Play Store or App Store. Create your account and follow the easy instructions to set it up. You can also use the app to customize settings like parental controls to filter content for added security, and even find help when you're having trouble. It's that easy to enjoy new and upgraded experiences for the whole family, even as you stay inside your house. With Globe at Home, you can recreate your world right at home.